There's also I also rewatched because I watched it not even that long ago previously, but I just saw it on the list and it was like just the perfect excuse to give it another go, which was Martin Scorsese's After Hours. Have you ever seen this film, After Hours, from the mid '80s?
I have not seen it. No, but I know about it, but I've never watched it.
Yeah, I think you'd really like it. I think you would really dig it. Yeah, like it's a weird movie, but
I think the vibes that I thought of it was like maybe it was like a version of Coffee and Cigarettes.
There's a little bit of that. There's a little bit of that. I think it kind of the setup makes you think it's a bit more like that than it ultimately is.
Oh.
It's kind of like, I mean, this movie's been talked about a lot over the years because it's on the one hand like a very unique movie, and on the other hand, it's kind of like the prototype or like just like kind of center of like a whole subgenre of movies that people don't really talk about very often, which is like late night adventure films. And this is like one of my favorite subgenres, if we can call it that. Like, and After Hours really is kind of like, I don't think it's necessarily the best one, but it's kind of the one that like could have probably took everything that happened before that, really kind of put it front and center, and then kind of set up everything afterwards. And like the whole key with the late night adventure, it typically, just by definition, it's a movie that happens in one night, meaning like that's it. You just get this one night and that's the whole movie. So it's like it has a very particular kind of rhythm to it as a result of that. Like where you kind of start
like
off, it's
formula.
like yeah, but like what's interesting with After Hours that I actually really like, I think the first time you see it, it almost throws you off. You're like, what time is it? But you realize that's kind of the point, because it's like this guy doesn't even go out till 11:30. Next thing you know, it's like 3:30 or 4:30. And then you're like, the sun doesn't come up till the last scene. So it's like, damn, that 5 o'clock hour was packed with shit. But I think the whole point is you just kind of lose track of time. Yeah. But yeah, I don't want to spoil the movie at all because I think you would really like it. But it's got a very interesting performance in the lead role by Griffin Dunne, who's not an actor I really know from anything else. Maybe some odds and ends here that like I'm just not remembering. But like what I think is interesting, Griffin Dunne. Yes, I believe, unless maybe I'm getting that wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Griffin. Griffin Dunne. He's an unusual kind of actor. He looks a lot like young Scorsese, which I think is why he's in this movie. Because it's like young Scorsese, probably like, oh, this kind of reminds me of nights I used to have out where I thought I was like going to hook up with a girl and then everything went wrong in my life because I actually don't have my shit together at all, which is basically the movie. And it's like, it's one of those movies too that like what I really like about it is that the character, especially on the second watch, because the first time you're like not sure where it's going, and you're like also like, I don't want to be too judgy because there might be things I don't know. But the second time you know what you're going to find out when you're not. So you're just watching this guy and you're like, this guy's a huge asshole. He sucks. He's like one of the most like annoyingly selfish, stupid people. Like a lot of the stuff that happens to him that goes wrong is completely his own fault. And like, if you're doing very stupid things that you would normally get very frustrated at a main character doing, but it's like part of why it works is because it's like, A, I think that's kind of the point. And B, it's like things are so chaotic and crazy and happening so fast that it's like, it actually feels very realistic. Because anytime, think about it, like from your own experience, anytime you make stupid decisions, you're usually not sitting there and being like, I'm going to make the stupid choice. You're usually just not thinking at all, and you're being impulsive. And then it's only like 10 minutes later that you realize that you are such an idiot. And if you're kind of a dick and you don't even have that moment 10 minutes later, you have that moment like 5 years later. And really what happens
or on
10
your
minutes,
deathbed.
yeah, really what happens 10 minutes later is you go, and this actually happens in the movie a few times. You go, actually, I'm doubling down. Everything is everyone else's fault. And I didn't do anything wrong.
Yep.
So do you have that scene several times with what's the character's name? The character's got a really stupid name. Yeah, no, it's Paul Hackett. And yeah, it is Griffin Dunne, not Griffith. So Paul Hackett.
Griffin Dunne has not stopped working. He has
no, he still acts. No,
wow.
What has he been in recently?
he was in that show Search Party, the L Word.
I haven't watched
upcoming new L Word, Goliath, which was that show with Billy Bob Thornton.
Yes,
you remember that show?
Yeah.
Succession.
No, I know he's a guy who's been in stuff, a lot of stuff.
He was in Ocean's 8. He was in Imposters, the TV show. This guy is a kid. He's like,
no, he's a hardworking character actor. But it's weird seeing him in a starring role.
He's got the dream. That's the dream, is what I'm saying. I want to be Griffin Dunne. I want to work forever, but
I want to get you a T-shirt that says "I want to be Griffin Dunne," and that's
I want to be Griffin Dunne.
No, you know who is also in the film is like kind of plays the girl that gets him into all this. I mean, when I say gets him in all this trouble, I mean, she didn't do anything wrong, but it's like he thinks he's going to like hook up with her. So that's what gets him in all the trouble is Rosanna Arquette, who's fantastic in the film.
Yes.
Yeah, she's so good.
I don't have a bad word to say about the Arquettes, any of them. I like them all.
Any of them. When you expand it to any of them, that's a bold statement.
Any of them. And I'll tell you why. This is a true Hollywood story about David Arquette and what an amazing person he is. Okay. Inside Hollywood story, you guys, has actually happened. I was bartending at a bar that he was friends with our owner. Mm-hmm. So he knew the guy that was running it. And I can't remember exactly what happened. If a barback got injured, I think he had to step away for quite a while. And we were slammed like a madhouse of people. We ran out of glasses and I'm trying to find glasses and I see somebody next to me washing dishes. And I'm like, thank goodness, I don't have time to like look or talk. And I'm still getting more drinks. And I turn and I'm looking, I'm like, who's washing these dishes? It's David Arquette.
Oh my God.
David Arquette saw that his buddy's bar. He was like, oh, I'm friends with your owner. I'm just going to help you guys out. He just jumped behind the bar and started washing dirty dishes for us. Said nothing. I tried to give him a tip out as a joke. I knew he wasn't going to take it. I was like, here's your cut. He was like, absolutely not. He was the nicest man. I've met him a few times after that. He came into the bar that I used to work at. But just the fact that he was awesome. Like, oh, something needs to be done. My buddy's employees really need help. I'm just going to come in and do it. Not say anything. And it's like the worst of the jobs, you know? He's just like, I'm just going to wash dishes for you guys for half an hour, you know? Not like 5 minutes. Like he was back there for a while. I was very grateful to him and still will remember that forever because it was so sweet.
Oh, wow. Wow. What a that is a great story. I love that.
It really is.
He always strikes me as like
I'm going to be specific too, because the place closed, but this was at the Dark Room on Melrose.
Yes. Oh, yes. I know it.
It just closed in 2020, which was a bummer because it was a cool place. I liked working
I didn't know you used to work there.
Yeah, that was one of my first gigs. That was probably my second bartending job in LA. So probably like, I don't know, 9 years ago, maybe.
Wow. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. And I was there for a couple of years, but, yeah, I'll never forget that day. It was so cool. And I told my mom about it. She was like, really? She was like, he seems like, and I was like, nope, he's like the nicest person. If people talk trash, it's ridiculously wrong.
Well, he's had some incidents, but like, it's not, I can totally see your story. And it's like, I didn't have a negative opinion at all. I just thought it was hilarious that you just go, I have nothing but great things to say about all the Arquettes.
All of them. Well,
I was like, oh, okay, you're putting yourself out there with that one. I was a fan because I don't know if I can make blanket statements like that on anybody. But I like it. I respect it.
I was a fan of the female Arquette's acting styles.
Of course.
Both of the female Arquettes I had already been a fan of. I don't think I had been super familiar with David's career, but as a person, just the fact that he used to hang out there and like would jump in and help. I'm like, so I like you no matter what. It's fine. Like I haven't seen his entire catalog, not even as much as I've seen of the Arquette sisters. But yeah, I mean they were like the 80s girls too. You know what I mean? Like,
well, this movie's 85, so this was like right in the middle of
in the smack middle of the 80s, in the height of it. I think that the Arquettes specifically kind of helped to define that era.
One more thing I gotta say about After Hours before we move off of it is just After Hours has a very, very unique feature that the first time I saw it, I was like, no way, I did not expect that, which is two specific actors who appear together in this movie. I'm assuming it's the first time either of them appeared on screen together, but they very famously played parents in one of my favorite movies of all time, right? So who am I talking about? I'm talking about John Hurd and Catherine O'Hara, who of course are the Kevin McAllister's parents in Home Alone. Both are in After Hours. And like, at first they're like not in the same scenes together, but they actually do, even though it's not like a big thing, you actually do see them on screen together talking to each other at one point. So it's like, holy shit. They knew each other way back then. But, I guess Home Alone's only 5 years after this movie, but it's kind of funny because it's like they go from playing, young people in their 20s, presumably, to playing mom and dad, of like 7 kids. Oh man, when we get to the holiday season, we're definitely doing a full-blown Home Alone episode where I'm going to go in real hard on the mysteries of Home Alone, which there's actually quite a few.
What? Really?
Yes.
I thought the main mystery is what is Kevin McAllister?
You haven't gone down the Home Alone rabbit hole?
What does he do for work?
I'm not spoiling it now.
Okay, don't spoil it now. We'll save it.
Don't spoil it now. Just if you start doing some weird Googling, you will find some strange Reddit threads and blog posts that ask very weird questions about Home Alone you never thought you were going to ask. Well, I did. That's the point. It's like I was like, oh, someone else noticed this. But yeah, it's pretty funny. Home Alone theories are great. It's a whole great subject.